Miltiades, was born around 550 BCE into the noble family of the Philadelphia in Athens, a lineage that traced its origins to the mythical king Aeacus. My father, Simon Calidus, was a man of immense influence and prestige, celebrated across Greece for his victories in the Olympic chariot races. He was not merely a sportsman, but a symbol of our family's prominence in Athenian society. However, our status as aristocrats came with its share of peril. My father was caught in the treacherous web of Athenian politics. While striving to preserve the family's honor and influence, he was assassinated during a political upheaval. His violent end left an indelible mark on me, instilling both a sense of caution and a resolve to secure my own destiny. My childhood was one of privilege and rigorous preparation. I was educated in the ways of governance, warfare, and the arts, as was expected of an Athenian nobleman. But it was in the training fields, under the guidance of seasoned warriors, that I discovered my true calling, the art of war. The defining chapter of my early life began when I was appointed Tyrant of the Chersonese, modern-day Gallipoli, a crucial region controlling the trade routes between the Aegean and Black Seas. This position was not inherited peacefully. My half-brother, Stesigoras, who had ruled before me, was assassinated by a Thracian faction, leaving the territory in disarray. When I arrived in the Chersonese, I was met with resistance from both local Thracians and rival Greek factions. To assert my rule, I launched a military campaign, subjugating the rebellious tribes and fortifying key positions. I built a formidable defensive wall across the peninsula, ensuring control over its strategic points. To cement my authority, I married Hegesippile, the daughter of a powerful Thracian king. This alliance pacified the local tribes and brought stability to the region. Yet, my tenure as a ruler was not without its challenges. The shadow of the Persian Empire loomed ever larger, and their influence over the northern territories was growing. In 513 BCE, King Darius I of Persia embarked on a campaign against the Scythians, the nomadic tribes of the northern steppes. As a ruler of the Chersonese and nominal ally of Persia, I was compelled to join this ambitious expedition. It was a journey unlike any I had ever undertaken. The Persian army was vast, disciplined, and well-organized, a stark contrast to the unruly Greek contingents I had known. We marched deep into the lands of the Scythians, a barren and unforgiving terrain. The Scythians, masters of guerrilla warfare, avoided open battle, instead retreating and burning their own resources to deny us sustenance. At one critical juncture, Darius ordered us Greek commanders to destroy a bridge over the Danube, which we had used to cross into Scythian territory. This would have stranded the Persian army, leaving them vulnerable to annihilation. I argued against this, urging loyalty to Darius, for now. Destroying the bridge would have risked Persian retaliation against Greece, and I knew the time for rebellion was not yet ripe. After the failed Scythian campaign, my position in the Chersonese became untenable. The growing power of Persia in the region, coupled with internal dissent, forced me to abandon my rule and return to Athens. I arrived in a city gripped by change. The democratic reforms of Cleisthenes had begun to reshape the political landscape, empowering the common people at the expense of the old aristocracy. Despite my aristocratic roots, I aligned myself with the democratic faction. I understood that Athens' future lay in the hands of its citizens, not in the clutches of a few elites. My military experience and leadership earned me a place among the 10 generals elected annually to lead the Athenian army. In 490 BCE, the storm of war loomed on the horizon. The Ionian Revolt, a failed uprising of Greek cities in Asia Minor against Persian rule, had enraged King Darius. Determined to punish Athens and Eretria for their support of the revolt, Darius launched a massive expedition to subjugate the Greek mainland. The Persian army landed at Marathon, a plain northeast of Athens, with a force far larger than anything we could muster. The Athenian assembly, in its wisdom, granted emergency powers to the generals, among whom I was one. At the war council, there was division. Some argued for delaying battle, hoping to wait for reinforcements from Sparta. I vehemently opposed this. I believed that hesitation would doom us, allowing the Persians to consolidate their position. My argument won the day, and I was entrusted with leading the attack. The morning of the battle dawned clear. I devised an audacious plan. Knowing the Persians relied on their archers and cavalry, I strengthened our flanks while deliberately thinning our center. When the Persians advanced, their forces pushed through our weakened center, but this was precisely what I intended. Our flanks wheeled inward, encircling the enemy in a crushing pincer movement. The battle was fierce, chaotic, and bloody. I fought alongside my men, urging them on with cries of defiance. Victory, when it came, was absolute. Over 6,000 Persian soldiers lay dead, while we lost fewer than 200. The Persians retreated to their ships, their invasion thwarted. The victory at Marathon was not just a military triumph. It was a moment of national pride. Athens had stood alone against the mightiest empire in the world and prevailed. Despite my victory, my fortunes took a dark turn. Soon after Marathon, I led an expedition against Paros, seeking to punish them for their support of Persia. The campaign failed, and my enemies in Athens seized the opportunity to accuse me of corruption and misconduct. I was fined an exorbitant 50 talents, an amount I could not pay. Imprisoned and disgraced, I succumbed to an infection from wounds sustained during the Paros campaign. I died in 489 BC, my final days a bitter contrast to the glory I had achieved at Marathon. As I look back, I see a life of contradictions. A tyrant who embraced democracy, a servant of Persia who became its fiercest foe, and a man who achieved greatness but fell victim to the politics of his own city. The Battle of Marathon remains my legacy, a testament to the courage and ingenuity of the Athenian people. It was a victory that inspired generations, proving that even the smallest and most divided of nations could triumph against overwhelming odds when united by a common cause.